Hey, what's up guys? Team Booster Break, and today for you I'm going to be doing a highly requested video because of my Fake Friday series. A lot of you guys have wanted me to do a video on how to identify fake Pokemon cards. So that's what we are going to do in this vid. Now, there are a bunch of fake Pokemon cards to be wary of. These are just the ones that I personally have to kind of show you guys and to reference and things like that. So don't only think these are the only types of fakes out there, okay? So we'll start off with the least important fakes, and that are the commons. So if you look here at these common cards, can you tell which one is fake? All right, so take a look at those. We'll turn them around. Okay, we'll give you a look at the front again. So, which one? Do you think this one's fake or this one? Well, if you said this one, you are correct. Now, right off the bat, just by holding these, I can tell you that there are three things that scream out to me they are fake. Now, unfortunately, you guys can't do one of them, which is feel it, but you can do the other two. The first thing is just, oh, by the way, I apologize for the sniffling. I am sick. But anyways, the first thing is by how rich these colors are compared to these. Do you want to know why that is? Because this is a photocopy of one. They just photocopy it on a piece of cardboard. All right? So real cards are going to have a much more vibrant colors. Now, it's kind of hard to decipher that if you don't have another one kind of to compare it to, but if you get a card and it just looks kind of faded, then it's, I would definitely look into it. And of course, if you get a card that's faded and you think it's fake, obviously you want to look into it more. But if you have a real card that you're just assuming, well, this is faded, is it fake? Trust me, there's other ways to tell, okay? Next is the back. Now, if you look here, on a real Pokemon card, the outside border is always darker than the inside. If you look at the fake one, this blue blends in with the background, obviously not in the white parts, but in the blue parts, it kind of blends in. Whereas on the real card, all around, you could see that deep dark blue border. Okay, so those, right off the bat, are some ways to tell if your Pokemon card is fake. Now, are you looking for more? Well, I have more. No. So, the next thing some people may not like, but if you have, like, let's say you bought a whole bunch of commons and you happen to have two of the same, they're just commons, okay? They're not worth anything. If you really want to tell, if all of if you bought a big bulk lot of of cards and you want to know if they're fake or not, getting rid of one isn't going to hurt you. So here's what you do. Rip it. Look at that. Do you see that? On a fake card, it's just cardboard, or sometimes some Pokemon cards are just white. This one happens to be the normal kind of cardboardy color. So it's like a gray, right? Now if we were to cut or rip the real card, every single real Pokemon card, guys, has this. First of all, it's a much cleaner cut. I mean, right off the bat, you can tell. This one cut more straight and it's thinner, as opposed to the fake card, which kind of cut all weird like that. Okay, that's obviously low quality. So that's a way to decipher it. But if you look at the real card, it's pure white, and there is a line of ink. There's a black line. Do you see that? If your card has that, then it is real. Okay, now, of course, once it's ripped, it really doesn't have much value to you to begin with. So that's why that really only helps in cases of if you have a lot. If you have a whole big bunch of cards that are all similar. But again, if you just have one ultra rare, that really won't help you very much. But I digress. So let's continue. So those those are the basics, the premise of this all. So let's continue on with some different types of fakes. What is this? Well, I couldn't tell you, to be honest, but we have a chop here with the weirdest holo pattern. And of course, it's warping terribly. But again, if the easiest way to tell is to just see if that background blends in. If it does, it's probably fake. But you have a chop here, and a lot of this has to do with having a prior knowledge to Pokemon cards. If you're a new collector, then you really have to be careful. But if you're somebody who's been around the block, you're going to have a good chunk of information and knowledge. So naturally, you'll know, well, they never ever made a holo pattern like that. And one thing that you can tell, even if you're a new collector, they never made a holo pattern that is the same throughout the entire card. Unless, it's like I believe the Radiant Collection might be the whole card. So that's an exception. But for the most part, if it's in a set, they've never made a holo pattern that goes all the way through with the same thing. Disregarding ultra rares and all that. Okay? Because I know there's a couple from like the EX series for secret rare EXs or something like that. But anyway, so and besides all of that, they never made a holo pattern that looks like peppermint candies. Okay? So that is a huge, huge giveaway. Up next, something a little more interesting. When you open up a pack of Pokemon cards, some cards aren't going to be in the best condition. But you will never open a pack of Pokemon cards where there's bends, creases, and of course my camera doesn't want to pick it up. So let's try to get an HD high-def zoom on this. Alright. Oh, wow, camera, really? You can't really tell, but there's dents and fraying all along the edge. If you look at the bottom, there's a dent there. And there's dents all inside the card, which unfortunately it's not picking up. But you'll never get a card that's in terrible condition. And even more so, you rarely get a card that is this miscut. If you do, then hold on to it, because it's pretty cool and it could be worth something maybe. But for the most part, like for example, in a fake pack, all of the cards will be miscut like this. Okay? But you rarely get, like if you open up a pack of cards and all of them are miscut, most likely they're fake. Although I have seen real packs have something like this. So you want to be wary. I'm just saying this is one of the things that could lead you to identifying them as fake. It's not a definite, obviously. Lots of people get misprints, but this is just something that could be an option. So you will rarely see cards this damaged, and also, this off-centered, and also it's just a very damaged card. Like right out of the booster pack, you can just tell it's worn. It just doesn't feel right. Okay, Pokemon cards, they have a grainy feel. Real cards, they just feel different. These ones, they just feel off. They almost feel like they have a powdery film, but they don't. These ones are a lot more smooth. So keep in mind, stay wary of miscuts and very damaged cards right out of the package. Next up, we're going to talk a little bit about holo patterns, and this also leads back to just terrible damage fresh out of the pack. Let's take a look at this Gabite. Well, I can tell you right now, they've never made a card like this. Okay? Ever. But again, that just goes to knowing what holo patterns are what and all that. But if I go like this, you can see all the texture in this card. A Pokemon card doesn't have that. Look at it from this angle. Okay? Can you see those dots, kind of? You get a good shot right there on the red Pokeball. That's all texture. And look at the damage on the top and on the bottom. Okay? You could just tell right off the bat by feeling this one how grainy it is. That's fake. This is a fake card. And they've, this isn't Yu-Gi-Oh! They've never done something with the holo name for a uncommon. Okay, so if it's an uncommon that has that, it's probably fake. It is fake, rather. And also, you can't really tell, but this is also somewhat holographic. It's a very sad holographic, but you'll never get a card that is holo and is only an uncommon. Anytime you get a holo rare, it will be... Anytime you get a holo, it will be a rare. Okay, it will never be an uncommon unless it's a reverse holo. Again, kind of the same deal. This is a common Hoppip. It has gold lettering and that same shiny holo pattern and that terrible, terrible texture. And just look how weird that is, that back. Again, look at the backgrounds. Okay, here's a real card. I mean, that's night and day difference right there. The Pokemon's a lot more orange. And of course, the main thing, the blue border really, really blends in with the background. Okay, here's a holo. Now this is a rare. This isn't a holo rare in the actual set, but this is a fake holo rare. And they've never made a holo pattern like this. So again, that goes back to just kind of knowing your Pokemon stuff. But also, if you look, the font is just wrong. The font is wrong. It's, you know, down here it's too thin. Up there it's too thick. There it's too thin. That looks like it's not even the correct font to begin with. It's just wrong. It's just wrong. And if you ever do get a card like this, it'll never hurt to just look at the bottom right. You know, look for the set number and see if this card is a holo. Alright? That's honestly the best way to do it. And again, the back, wouldn't you know, this one's actually really bad. You could see that really well, how badly that blends in. You know, again, for reference, here's a real card. So, that's really bad. Alright, next up. We got a couple good ones here. I'm excited about these next ones. Here's an EX. Here's a fake EX. Well, how do you know that this is fake? Obviously, number one thing, the back. Number two, first of all, anytime you see these dark black lines, okay, going through the card, that is because it was photocopied. So if you ever see a card that has these dark black lines, you don't know what they're from, they're photocopied. Also, extremely miscut. Okay? But the number one thing is if you ever get an EX and it's not glossy, okay, here's a real EX. I don't have this one, so I have to use this one for reference just because it's the one by me. But if you take a look, here's a Latios. Look at the shine. Okay, you can see it really well there. See how it's shiny? This one's matte. Okay, this one, it's smooth. It's a nice, smooth, glossy EX. This one feels the same as a common would. Okay, obviously an EX and a common aren't the same card. So that's the biggest thing. If you get an EX, that is the biggest thing to see. Okay? Is if it has gloss and, of course, the back. The back is going to be your number one helper in this. Let's take a look at this beauty. Here's a full art. Yikes. I mean, need I say more? Again, look at, see this? These are those black lines I was talking about. Or those dark shaded lines. Also, of course, the back. That one's really bad. But of course, like it's a you know, it's a full art. It doesn't have any texture. It has no gloss. It feels the exact same. And actually, this is actually smoother than this is. So that goes to show, if it doesn't have texture, if it's not shiny, it's not real. Up next, here's an EX. Uh-oh. This EX has shine. Oh, crap. Well, look at that. You'll see this sometimes on fake cards. They have errors. Just random ink spots. Who knows where they're from? Well, I know where they're from. It's from them being idiots, but I mean, the condition, first of all. You could just tell. Real cards, they don't damage like that. Like, real cards, when they get hurt, or when they get edge wear, not hurt, what is it, a person? When they get edge wear, that's how they fray. That's how they damage. They don't bend and dent like that. Okay, that's not how a card wears. So keep that in mind. But again, crap, dude. Well, I have an EX, and it's glossy, how do I know if it's real or fake? First of all, it goes back to knowing your holo patterns. This is not a real holo pattern. Okay? Obviously. And you have to look at the back again. But is there anything else that you can do? Well, feeling it, again, yeah, it has holo, but it just doesn't, it's not as smooth. If you rub your finger against this, you don't see your finger mark. Whereas, where did I put, oh, it's right there. Whereas if you, again, you won't be able to see this. Put a finger mark, you'll be able to see it on an EX. Okay, again, you'll need like really good eyes, but trust me, you can see it. So those are a couple ways to identify if you have a glossy EX to tell if it's fake. But again, you know, you have to pay attention to the little things, the fraying. Also, if it does fray, if it's in kind of bad condition, just look at how it's fraying. And most importantly, look at the color. If you see fraying and it's grayish brown like that, it's fake. Okay? All Pokemon cards are pure white when they fray. Okay? I'll try to show you that. Does this card even have edgeware? I keep my cards in too good a condition, man. I'm just kidding. It's a common. Well, let's make some edgeware really quick for the purpose of videos. See that? Pure white. Okay, it's not gray. And last but not least, my absolute favorite kind of fake Pokemon card is the Pokemon card with the insane amount of HP. Guys, I can guarantee you that Pokemon has never and will never make a Pokemon card with that much HP. Okay, I think the most HP a Pokemon has is is the Wailord EX with like 300 or something like that. So if you have a Pokemon card that exceeds, let's even say this. If you have a Pokemon card that is in the thousands, it's fake. Easily, by far, that's it. If it has 4 digits up here, that card is as fake can be. Alright? Anything else, if you're like, okay, that's a ridiculous amount of HP, all you gotta do, these fake people, they usually get this right, just look for the set. Even if you don't get, okay, well, of course, I say that and you can't even see it. Even if you don't know what the set symbol means, type in M Heracross, if you don't know what that's Mega, M Heracross EX, it'll come up, and just look at the HP. Okay, if you think that's too good to be true, it usually is, okay? Oh, those are the best ones. Guys, they would never, like, you can literally just play this in 60 energy, just be like, okay, boom. You want to just give up now? And your opponent will give up every time. They would never do that, okay? So, if your card ever has that much HP, guess what? It is fake. And of course, you know, looking at this, it's not glossy like this one. Okay? So, guys, I pretty much covered everything that I personally know about fake cards. I hope that this helped you, and I hope that it was, you know, kind of gave you an kind of reference when trying to see if cards are real or fake. Because, again, if you see any cards like this, or, you know, like this, they are with, you know, a ridiculous amount of HP, then it's probably fake. So, again, I hope this helped you. Again, I made this because a lot of people were requesting it because of my Fake Friday series, which if you haven't seen that, there will be a link to the playlist down below. Definitely check it out. It'll also be connected to the eye right there. So, that's pretty much does it. That pretty much does it. Hopefully this helped you. As I said, hopefully, you know, if there was a card you weren't sure was real or fake, this kind of gave you the definitive answer, and you're either happy or sad. So I apologize if you're sad, but again, you know, it's kind of good news because at least now you know. But yeah, like I said, hopefully this helped you guys out. I really enjoyed making this. But yeah, so that's gonna do it. Thank you guys all so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.